All right, so this is my uh, template for my three lesson unit or mini unit that I will be attempting to actually do this school year. The interesting thing I found about this project was that I know it was discouraged to kind of use what you've used before, but I took something that I used maybe 10% of in this past school year, and I've created 90% of the rest of it. I just kind of used it as a springboard, just for something that we've done that I've always thought that we could have as more creative and really getting the kids to do standard one and the creating aspect. This unit will be held in my lab band class, which is basically a rock band class. They get together every other day, and that's vital to know that they get together every other day for 40 minutes with limited technology. Limited by that, what I mean is we do have software such as Finale print music, and we do have uh, smart music as well. Although I have not had the time to fool around with that, and when the kids do, it kind of takes away from the actual lesson. So we're trying to figure out ways to get that back into the curriculum for the benefit of the student. And that's the other crucial thing to know is that right now we don't have a curriculum for this class for most of our music classes. So this is why this class and curriculum and assessment are going very nicely for me, especially with my school district, because it allows me to create these types of things. Um, so right off the bat, this idea is a lesson that I have with my 20 kids. It is an audition-based class to bring a cover project, which is a previous project, which is where the kids they just simply cover a song by whatever band that they would like to the best ability to introduce a genre, some sort of genre. Um, I've had them do this cover project before. It's pretty simple. I wasn't adept enough to get them to be able to do informal learning themselves. Although I was, but I do like the adding that aspect into it as well. Um, I was able to gauge it, I was able to assess it, but I was not able to have them assess their own work. And so this is something that they will be doing as well. It expands their knowledge with today's music, um, and they really get to create and respond with what they're performing with. So um, basically, the idea is that they're going to take this cover song and they're going to switch it into whatever type of genre that they would like. So they're going to have something by maybe, I don't know, Celine Dion, and they're going to change it into the genre or the style of, let's say, Marilyn Manson. I don't know how they would do it, but they could try to do it. So the simple things for the first day is that the students will demonstrate these are the objectives and building of their collaboration, their group collaboration, meaning that they're staying with the same band, they're staying with the same team, and they're continuing to build as a band to something more in the end. Students will demonstrate research. They will basically research a different genre and respond to that genre, meaning that they will take information and then they will apply it into the actual song in some sort of way. It doesn't have to be very detailed, but it has to be there. Students will just demonstrate efficient and continued practice for their previous song and new with the new genre, and they will reflect on how each genre compares to the other that I am adding purely. Some essential questions are, what is a genre? It's a very open, um, it can allow for a lot of dialogue. And how does genre apply to music today? What will your new genre be for your next project? So I'm allowing for computers, Chromebooks, that's what we have at our district, pencils, pens, music, written or online, instruments and amps, mics, PA for the final of the project. The final of the project basically is that they wind up rehearsing, um, meshing out and fleshing out, sorry, all of the details that they need for the genre to work for a performance, and then they will perform not in these 3 lessons, but this is working towards the final performance, which will happen after 6 to 7 class days. We're only going to talk about 3 today. So the students, they're novice. They could be novice or they could be advanced musicians between ninth and 12th grade. This is where it gets tricky because there's a lot of differentiation in instruction. Not all of my kids know how to play the 3 different type of minor scales on the guitar, or they don't know how to even play a paradiddle. They don't know what it even is, but they're rock stars. They can hold a beat down and they can jam. Um, so this will create for difficulty with choosing a song between bands. Um, Typically during this time, I forgot to add this in the beginning, but I do let them choose um, their own bands during this time. At first, I do not, but this is the first time where these bands get to be chosen by their classmates, not myself. So this will add for a little bit of difficulty, and the 40 minutes adds for a difficulty because 40 minutes is really not 40 minutes. 40 minutes is really like 35 minutes because of all the breakdown setup and what have you. So they're going to work on their covered song. They know this from the previous unit. It's the first quarter grades, and they're going to have their formed groups. They will be they're basically sit in the common room for instruction, and basically what I do is I ask them what a genre means. Um, I give them different examples, or I try to find out from them what examples that they have. Um, and kind of just write them on the chalkboard that we have, and just really flesh out these different ways. And this should only take about 10 minutes or so with the kids. It doesn't need to be a full lesson on genre. It can just be an introduction. Let them do their work. So then they break off into groups, and they'll discuss and basically jot down what makes the 2 genres different between sound, instrumentation, style, and technique. If time allows in this class period, you'll be able to incorporate the new genre into their cover song. Some classes might move faster than, or some groups might move faster than others. So that's what you're going to look out for. That's what the teacher is going to move around, and they're going to check up on every group and help wherever they can. Um, Teacher, you will check to see if they're having a hard time with picking a genre and really fleshing out what options that they have from your previous knowledge as the teacher of what kind of genre they could switch to. Guided practice, basically, it's it's just I kind of call it scene work. I don't know. I teach drama as well. They they break off into the bands and they basically just research themselves. They go in, they show each other on their phones, on the computers what they're doing. And they discuss and they write it down. I would like it to be more formal. Have them write it down. Bullet points are fine. But that just shows proof instead of them just trying to BS the teacher. It does show proof. It gives you something tangible to grade upon throughout the unit. Um, Basically, then is independent practice and your closure. You'll collect what the students have or what they don't have, and you'll move on to class 2. And class 2 will be basically a continuation of of Class 1. Some students do not have the opportunity to independently practice. They might have not been able to explore genre because they do not have a phone or a computer, but then you'll allow them to continue that. They do need to have a genre chosen by Class 2, and they still need to work on Objective 3. Some bands will already be on Objective 3. So you'll have to watch out for that. And then the Class 3 is basically all the groups have completed Objectives 1, 2, and 4, and they're working on Objective 3. They will have 3 more class periods to iron out the new style of their cover and perform it for the class at a later date. Does this mean that this genre project is going to be something coffee house incredibly worthy? No, it might not be. The idea is for them to understand what genre is and how they will be able to switch later on in life if they ever are in a group, or if they're ever on the radio, that they know what they're talking about when genre is brought up. The assessment tools that I use for this unit are informal, which is basically just assessing the students' collaboration as they're researching, making sure that they're on task, and that they're making progress, and as well as how well they compare the two genres that they chose. The formal part of the assessment is that the students will hand in those notes, and that they will also continue Objective 4, which is that they will reflect on how each genre compares to the other, and I do have a rubric attached for that, as well to the um, template as well. So, this is basically just another way for them to explore their musical facets, their developing as a musician, not as just an instrumentalist or as a vocalist, but as a pure musician. They're getting that idea of genre. They're being able to perform together, connect together, create together, and respond together. It pretty much hits everything that we need. And at the same time, they have fun and they do mostly informal learning. So, I hope you enjoyed this unit. I certainly cannot wait to actually implement this into my curriculum. So thank you for whatever feedback you have for me, and I appreciate the time you took to give that feedback. Thank you.